Thank you for subscribing to the 666 Mark of the Beast Tell-All Show. And thank you for sharing this video with others. Together, we will finish the work that God would have us to do. Hi, I'm Henry. Thank you for finding my YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and you'll automatically be added.
The prophecies of Daniel and of John are to be understood. They interpret each other. They give to the world truths which everyone should understand. These prophecies are to be witness in the world by their fulfillment. In the last days, they will explain themselves.
Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Revelation 14:7. Another angel followed, saying, Babylon is fallen. Revelation 14:8. The third angel warns, if anyone worships the beast, or his image, or takes his mark in his forehead, or in his hand, he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. See Revelation 14:9 and 10. The three angels have warned. 1. God's judgment hour has begun. 2. Babylon is fallen. 3. Do not take the 666 mark of the beast. These important warnings are repeated in Revelation 18. Fornicating, Babylon the Great is fallen. Come out of her, my people. Revelation 18:2-4.
In a historic move, Pope Francis is supporting civil unions for same-sex couples.
First, beyond our borders tonight, Pope Francis endorses same-sex civil unions for the first time as the head of the Roman Catholic Church.
Her sins have reached unto heaven. Reward her even as she rewarded you. Revelation 18:5-6. Babylon's judgment hour is over. It is time for God to punish Babylon. By thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Revelation 18:23. Babylon's final deception is the 666 mark of the beast. The churches have become as described in the 18th chapter of Revelation. Why are the messages of Revelation 14 given? Because the principles of the churches have become corrupted.
And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. Revelation 12:2. This is talking about the birth of Jesus. Then there's a caveat about an event that preceded Christ's birth by millennia. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Revelation 12:3-4. The dragon is Satan. He was cast out of heaven 2,000 years before Christ was born. The devil waited and planned for that day so that he could kill Christ as soon as he was born. And Satan's description as having 7 heads and 7 crowns foreshadows events that come about in Revelation 13, which also begin with a reversed chronology. And I stood before the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Revelation 13:1-2. The beast with 7 heads and 7 crowns, according to the description in Revelation 12, is the sea beast that is recognized prophetically as the papacy in Revelation 13. The 7 crowns and the 7 heads signify the king thereof was the head. Joshua 11:10. Put a crown upon him, and they made him king. 2 Kings 11:12. Likewise, the 10 horns are symbolic of another group of kings or rulers. The great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Daniel 8:21. And he shall be king in my stead, for I have appointed him to be ruler. 1 Kings 1:35. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Revelation 13:3. Chronologically, the prophetic events of Revelation 13:3, the deadly wound being healed, happened before verse 1 and 2. Thus, after the deadly wound was healed, the 7 popes have had their kingdom restored to them in 1929. They are kings again. They bond with 10 other kings. Revelation 17 explains that the kings, or popes, are allotted a specific hour. That hour is 83 years, 4 months, and it correlates with the judgment hour to judge the living from October 14, 1929 to 14 February 2013. Watch my video, The Principle of First Mention, to learn how the prophetic hour has been identified. And if you haven't subscribed to my videos, please do. Revelation 13 flows from the first beast, the papacy, that yields its authority and power to the second beast that has lamb-like horns. The second beast is identified by its ability to drop fire down from heaven in the sight of eyewitnesses. He maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Revelation 13:13. America did that very thing in World War II under the leadership of President Harry Truman. And America, under President Donald Trump, has threatened North Korea that it would rain fire and fury upon it if it threatened America's safety. During that hour from 14 October 1929 to 14 February 2013, the papacy allegedly began interfering with American politics by putting Harry Truman in place as vice president. Then FDR mysteriously died. His son was not even allowed to view his dead body. The Jesuits have claimed that they put Harry Truman in office. From the context in Revelation 13, the 7 popes of the post-1929 healed papacy have bonded with the 10 American presidents. Yes, after Truman, who they claim to have put in office, every one of the next 9 American presidents had audiences with sitting popes while they were sitting presidents. Yes, the 10 crowned heads, sitting American presidents, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, and Clinton, all bonded with the papacy. Then, when the last of the 7 popes, Benedict XVI, was embroiled in a Vatican priest sex scandal, the focus of Revelation 13 moved from the papal sea beast to the American earth beast with the lamb-like horns that speaks like a dragon. My other videos explain how the 2 lamb-like horns are actually 4 presidents. The 7 kings in Revelation 17 are the 7 popes in Revelation 13. 5 were fallen. Pius 11 and 12, John 23, Paul 6, and John Paul 1. The one that is was John Paul 2. The one that was to come for a short space is Benedict 16. The prophecy is about end-time spiritual Babylon. To understand the short space, remember that Babylonian tradition counted the reign of a king from New Year's Day, which was 29 March on our Gregorian calendar. Thus, whoever was king on New Year's Day got credit for the entire year. John Paul II was Pope on 29 March 2005, and he died April 2nd, 2005. Thus, from Babylonian reckoning, his final year did not end until 28 March 2006. Though Benedict XVI was Pope before that date, by Babylonian custom, His accession year was counted as part of Pope John Paul II's final year. Thus, by Babylonian reckoning, on 29 March 2006, Pope Benedict began his first official year as Pope. When he resigned, effective 28 February 2013, it was 1 month and 1 day short of 7 years. 7 is the number of completeness. Pope Francis I finished Benedict XVI's 7th year, making Benedict's reign a short space. This has another prophetic significance. There were only 7 solo popes from the healing of the papacy's deadly wound during the prophetic hour from 14 October 1929 through 14 February 2013. Though Pope Francis I is the 8th pope, he is not of the 7. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. Revelation 17, 10 and 11. Satan, who is described as having 7 heads and 7 crowns in Revelation 12, is also the one that is and is not. So for Pope John Paul II to be one that is and is not, Satan has to manifest himself as though he is John Paul II. Satan will not only appear as a human being, but he will personate Jesus Christ. Why will Satan personate this human being, Pope John Paul II? Through the 2 great errors, the immortality of the soul and Sunday sacredness, Satan will bring the people under his deception, while the former lays the foundation of spiritualism. The latter creates a bond of sympathy with Rome. But before Revelation 17 explains the prophetic hour, Revelation 16 states, "And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet." Revelation 16:13. This is the 3rd example of Revelation reversing the chronology. This takes place after Revelation 17. Thus, Satan is the dragon, Pope Francis is the head of the papal beast, but who is the false prophet? Are not such teachers the pretenders to whom Christ referred when he said, "Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven." God's will is expressed in his holy law. This is the only correct standard of righteousness. And if a man's character stands in harmony with the Lord's standard, his testimony may be received and relied upon. But if he stands in opposition to the requirements of God, he measures himself and others by his own finite, fallible standard, and may claim as much as does the Pope of Rome. In the light of the royal law, his character may be lacking in every essential qualification of purity and righteousness. He has torn down the true detector of sin and has trampled it in the dust. He claims great spiritual riches, wanting nothing that he has not, and boasts of the grace of Christ, which he has turned into lasciviousness. These characteristics will multiply, and by smooth words and deceptive speeches will deceive the unwary and those who do not try the professions of men by the great tester of character. Certainly, Pope Benedict was caught up into lasciviousness when he was toppled because of the priest's sinful fornication scandal. The Pope of Rome is a false prophet. Thus the frogs, the first frog, the dragon, Satan manifesting himself as John Paul II, the second frog, the beast, Pope Francis I, and the third frog, the false prophet, Pope Benedict Emeritus. The final events foretold in Bible prophecy are explained in the scriptures and the spirit of prophecy. Do you know where we are in prophetic history? There's no time to delay. Get right with God today while Jesus is in the sanctuary pleading for you, pleading for me. Don't delay. And we need to have a relationship with Jesus that will see us through whatever comes. We are in for some surprises, and the final events will be rapid ones. This earth as we know it is not going to be here forever. If we put off what we need to do today, tomorrow may be too late, too late.
Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for taking a second to push the subscribe button. That is extremely important to me and to others. Thank you for being a fact checker. Study the things that I've said, and if they're true, affirm them. And if you find an error, tell me so that I can double check. I am a student. I want to pass the final exam. I want to be ready when Jesus comes. Folks, I'm telling you what I'm getting from Bible prophecy study. If it's true, it'll happen soon enough. I would rather be embarrassed than to miss the boat when it comes to being ready for Jesus to come. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and telling others about it.